if I can see anything. I don't know whether these guys are flatheads or... Yeah, I think they're young flatheads. Come out there. Before that, all I could see was copperfish. They've got these futuristic automatic toilets, like the first ones I saw out of Mudgee. You go in, it gives you 10 minutes, the music plays, everything's sort of hands-free, apart from having to touch the button to get out. And they have little, along with bubblers, they've got little drink stations for dogs. I think that's so cute. We have decided it's too hot to walk. So we've come back to near where we've parked, and we're in the shade, and there's a breeze. I've got Coke, he's got some water, and we'll just kick back. Step one, done. This will, if any water goes through the landing now, it will run down along here and trip off this end. Means it's not going to be tripping on this anymore. I guess if I find that there's not enough fall, I can undo the screws here because I've only got them along here, not all over the place. And stick a shimmer timber in between. The idea is that I'm going to have metal coming up under the stairs, and because of the angle it will come up to about here, which means that any water flowing through here will just drip onto the top of that metal and go straight down, and I'll have that funnel to go out below the stairs, which means that no more rain falling through the stairs. I can get around to concreting this base and get this turned into a bit of storage underneath the stairs to really prevent water from getting in here, is to form up like a gutter part, so the water doesn't just sort of flow into here, particularly from this area here where water has always sort of flown through from the front yard. And so I'll get a bit of a gutter here. Yeah, that'll help funnel the water around and out here, where this is actually higher than out there at the moment. Further down it's not so good. Like this spot here where I dug out when I was stepping down, and I had the idea that I would form a concrete gutter there. The bottom bit where I think a lot of the water gets in, where this rock was, where I pulled it out, I will have to form something up along there to stop water from flowing into it from that direction as well. And it may be a case that I do that first before doing this, just to allow all of this to really dry out. Means that like I should be able to do this one here and this sort of stuff along here easy enough, because it's not constantly drenched. It doesn't have to be super high, it just needs to be higher than this level here. And I'd initially thought of just making it sort of go from here down to just below that post. And I guess I can form up a little bit of a gutter around it so that, or on the inside, so water can not go and soak the post. One thing I've got to do though under the stairs in order to be able to attach the metal is, you see that little notch where the stair slides in, I need to make one that comes from there to this side with that angle on it so that the metal can be screwed in. And seeing how well that goes up there with just the two, because it's not really on a roof, I could probably get away with maybe having one here and then one maybe about a metre or 1200 down. Of course this is a long distance and I'm going to need multiple sheets, but I'll only need to have a few of those in order to do it. And it is now just starting to rain, which was forecast, and it's 10 after 5. So time to pack up fully and go inside. Tuesday morning, weather's, I don't know what to think of it, because the forecast has been that it's going to be like really stormy all this week. Yesterday when I woke up, it was beautiful blue sky. By the time I was getting dressed, it was grey and ugly, and then driving to work it wasn't too bad, then it looked a little bit sunny at work, and then it just stormed really badly. And and I was sitting up in the DP chair, and I had a parent interview coming in, and they were soaked. They just got soaked coming into the school. Today, beautiful morning. Didn't look like that at first when I got up, but now it's all right. But I haven't been leaving home quite as early as I'd like to, and I'm kind of rushed getting to work. I'm getting there either just in time or a minute or two past when I should be, like pulling into the car park, so it takes time. And today I left earlier so that I could travel down and get there earlier, and the freeway is doing a school zone. We're traveling along at about 40, 45. It's ridiculous. I went and saw my stage 5 metal class first thing yesterday morning, because some of them didn't know what they were doing, where they were going. They walked into the room, they saw a different teacher, they saw the year 9, saw year 10 kids, and they started to freak out. I got them all inside, explained, yes, everybody year 9 and 10 are in the same class. You're all starting from scratch. Nobody's got any advantage over each other. And then I explained out what I wanted them to do, and it was basically what I would have done if I was there. The whole, let's talk about what our basic needs are, what we'd like in the classroom, like I did with the timber class, and got them to do it. And I said, I'd really like you to take it really seriously. I'm not going to be here to poke in my bias. I had some other questions for them to put on the back of the page, and some of the kids really did a good job with it. I had a look at their work yesterday afternoon, and they really did take it seriously, including some of the kids who were late to class, who didn't really hear my spiel, so they found out what they needed to do and did it. So really pleased with that. Today, same thing, first period. I won't have them because I'm DP again. I've got 3 enrollment interviews today. Yesterday there was only 1, but the rest of the time was just still doing timetable fixes for kids who didn't have electives or had subjects missing or whatever. But today, yeah, three enrollment interviews, so it's going to be a busy day for that with that regard. But I set up the class for first period. I wanted to get onto the laptops, get onto Google Classroom, like join the class, and then get onto our On Guard. I went through and picked out the very general safety tests for metalwork and basic machinery and tool safety, kind of the things that it says in On Guard, that it's not necessary to have a demonstration for them to have to do this test. It's based on just the information that's there, and they should be able to answer the questions that way. So I just picked some very basic ones to get them into the flow. I've already added them all to the On Guard group. So fingers crossed that goes well this morning. The traffic's ridiculous. Nearly to my exit. So annoying. Thursday hour, about 10 past 6. Today was kind of like meeting day after work. We had faculty time, sort of doing a little bit of final stuff at school before leaving. But because the weather was nice, my wife said, it'd be nice if you could take him for a walk when you got home. And we can. He's caught the smell of something. Don't know what. So there was a few of my year 12s who didn't end up going on work placement. They were supposed to, but they didn't. And they were at school the last couple of days. And I've got a couple of them to start moving a lot of the timber that was out in the yard so that we can start get ready to set up the carport covers that we got at the end of last year. They were happy to do that. They got to learn how to use the new pallet jack to move the pallets that had the carport parts on it, and also to move the pallet that had the scaffold that I bought at the end of last year in 2 boxes. There was so many crickets in between the 2 boxes because it's been sitting there since the end of last year. And one of the boxes actually had loads and loads of little baby crickets on the inside. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I unpacked those boxes while they were moving the timber yesterday. And then today I put the scaffold together, and it goes together so easily because the whole base unit, the 2 ends are held together with a kind of like a cross scissor action brace at the back, and you push the 2 sides apart and it locks in place, and then you put some cross bracing onto it. The wheels are already attached, and then you just put the platform on, a couple of other braces and the kickboards, and it's done. And you can just roll it around. I ended up getting an extension pack with it, which allows you to increase the height where their feet are no higher than 2 meters, which is the highest you're allowed to have in school. Like a pre-assembled mobile unit with platform no higher than 2 meters. So I got that. But for putting these carports together, and this is why I got it initially, because you've got to be up high to put the roof onto the carports. And I didn't want them trying to balance on ladders or on little platforms. So having a scaffold that you can roll around and then lock in place, and it's got big stabiliser arms, perfect. I got it all assembled, and then I wheeled it down to the trade school and put it inside the trade school so it's out of the way. I meant to try and show you it, but it was just too hot to walk around. Finally had my stage 5 metal class yesterday. Good to finally meet them fully. Showed them a little bit around the trade school workshop. What I hope to achieve in the course with them. And I had the stage 5 timber class today, and we did a little bit of practice, some practice marking out and cutting and desanding, and then I talked to them a little bit about terminology and timber, using those pieces and grain direction and that sort of thing. So they worked really well. That was good. The first prac lesson, there was a lot of cooperation, that sort of thing. Well, not a bad start to the year. Still a few changes or fixes to timetables for kids. That'll all iron itself out.